Greetings, my fellow Dragonborn, Holy Crusaders, and Error Knights, as well as welcome to casual visitors and victims of the algorithm. I've obviously, from the title of the video, been playing a little Oblivion. It got recommended to me by my cousin because it was on Game Pass for the Xbox. And it said remastered, which is probably the one thing I'm going to start off with. I'm not clear how it was remastered because usually that to me means the graphics are spruced up. Sorry, the people look just as bad as they look in plain ordinary vanilla Skyrim, which is about the same level as Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4. Not exactly appealing. I think maybe the grass and the trees might have been a little bit sharper than what I remember they were in Skyrim, but that's about it. I think by remastered they just meant we tweaked the software so it can run on, the current gen machines as opposed to the previous generation of machines. Having said that, minor pet peeve medics aside, I thoroughly enjoyed the campaign. In some regards, I kind of wish I had known just a little bit ahead of time that when you complete the campaign, you close all the Oblivion gates, as opposed to, you have a couple days to go rob a few more of the Oblivion gates, simply because the orbs are very practical for enchanting gear. And literally that is the one time I actually enchanted any of my gear in the campaign. I enchanted an entire set of armor to have frost resistance, a bit redundant since I was playing a Nord, fire resistance, whatever the other one is of the elements, as well as drain life on the sword and drain magicka on the bow. And frankly, the damage the weapons and gear took once they were enchanted was shocking, surprising. And I actually, after repairing the gear and recharging it, put it aside and just continued on with mundane equipment. The one exception really was I kept and I used weapons that were quest related, like the mace related to the couple that had become estranged. And that's the irony, is I actually did pretty much the entire campaign with minimum amount of magic. I went into one boss fight with the Woad spell cast on me, basic almost invulnerability for the first 60 seconds. The fight was over in 20. And, well, it's actually one thing I liked about the Oblivion system compared to the Skyrim system, is you have a percentile system of how much damage you have. It doesn't matter about the amount of points the weapon has or piece of armor has. You just look at the health bar of the piece of equipment, the score. It's like, oh yeah, it's at 80. Oh, it's at 70. I really need to have it repaired now. Having said that, I like the Skyrim system a little bit better as far as crafting stuff, because it's 20,000 points. Woohoo! But you could never repair something back to whatever that score was when you first created an item, which is too bad. So, upside downsides of both systems. And just a good segue into the fact that I had not realized that Oblivion came before Skyrim, which of course would make sense because in the Skyrim game there's references to Oblivion Crisis. And at one point I was getting a little bit miffed with the game because it wasn't allowing me to do certain things I'd done with Skyrim, and I was like, well, I ended up Googling it, of course. Oh, 2003. Oh, so many years before Skyrim. Oh, okay, I get it. I'm a little bit of a pack rat when it comes to the Elder Scrolls. I have a tendency of not selling a lot of stuff. Some of it is putting, one could say, too much role playing into the game, because it doesn't matter if I sell magical gear to some vendor somewhere. The enemies already have preset magical gear. So you're, by giving somebody or selling somebody a 20-point disintegrate this and that weapon, it's not going to come and bite you on the ass. But somebody would cast detect magic on a couple of my locations and basically get knocked flat on their ass. I just had that much. So, I haven't used the enchanting system, although I did one location, Frost Crag, which is basically free. You discover it and read a journal, and you have a quest to buy furniture, and the place is yours. You need to find or purchase 2 items. You go to the lecterns, you place the items, and you can then craft, enchant, and blah blah blah. And I was like 80% done of the campaign at that point. I was like, oh, this is neat. I'll look into it later. Yeah, right. Famous last words. Your character, and I guess this is very much an Elder Scrolls thing, starts in prison, same way your character does in Skyrim. At least they're not dragging you to execution. The protagonists, certainly Martin, and to a lesser extent Joffrey, are sympathetic. Martin goes out with a bang, so I'm not going to spoil it for you. A lot of the other NPCs are clearly on track. It's like, say this, no matter what. One thing that bugged me early on in the campaign is, hey, you got a weapon in hand? You're crouching because you just walked through the door where you were, until then crouch walking. And it's like, yo, criminal, arrest your ass. And worse is, you are teleported to the castle, and if you turn around and walk right out, standing upright and with your weapon put away, it's just a nuisance, a colossal waste of time. We're at the 7-minute mark. Sorry, I'm leaning over the Mac to try to speak as closely to the microphone. I hope I'm being successful. I tried with the headset and somehow it just wasn't recording. The comment earlier I made about wanting to go to see when the game was built, or I'm actually looking for an explanation for a bug and discovering the game was built before Skyrim. I'd gotten the furnishings for Battlehorn Castle. It's another 3 locations on the western edge of the map. You just have to fight off some marauders. Actually, you have to run them down because, unlike most people in Skyrim, these guys just stick around. Sorry, most people in Oblivion, they just stick around and fight you to the death. These guys ran. And of course, you get the bedroom set, and you get the library set, which gets me very excited because look at any of my Skyrim videos, all the bookshelves are full of books. So I walk up to the library and waiting to be prompted to put some books, and it's like, nothing. That's, of course, what led me to find out that Oblivion was done before Skyrim. I'm guessing there must have gotten some feedback saying, hey, could we please put the books in bookcases? I was patching together a bunch of clips in one room where you're going to fight Ilmaril as the conclusion to the Holy Crusader quest. At the entrance of the room, there are 6 Valya stones. These are stones that can be used to recharge all your gear. So, you got gear that you put away, take it out of storage, put it on your character, recharge everything, put everything back. Where are you? And I didn't realize there were Valya stones until I was editing the video. The video itself is comprised of 20-odd 1-minute long clips, cut down to size. This is where the Xbox frustrates me compared to the PlayStation. Is I got and used the PlayStation, I grant you that, but I don't remember these problems on the Xbox 360. It's, the clip has a maximum duration of 1 minute. You can set it for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or 1 minute. There's another place where you can start a clip, and unintentionally I would actually leave the game before starting a clip and end up not recording anything. And that one seems to have a maximum of 4 minutes. I'm sorry, I can't walk through Battlehorn in 4 minutes. Well, I suppose I could run through it, but you won't see anything. And I'm rather pleased and proud of how things worked out. A couple places where I end up putting stuff on tables. Stay very clear of the tables, not to touch the items so they don't move around.
Yes, ma'am.
Puts a bunch of wilting stones to provide additional lighting.
I hope I can help.
I never end up really using the stuff in the basement. There's a guy who will do potions for you. There's a guy you can practice your weapon skills with, and therefore rank up your weapons. And apparently you can kill him and just keeps coming back for more. Or at least that's what I got from YouTube. A little bit on the negative. I remember reading comments to the fact that the game was a bit buggy and things start cropping up. And I noticed that about 75%, 80% of the way through the storyline. Things like you shoot a rat on the ground. You're doing so much damage to him, he's dead. He's not going to move. And he's bouncing around whatever room or tunnel you're in like a ping pong ball. It's just a little bit disconcerting. I think there's one scene, I think somebody else's video where they were showing how to get to Frost Crag, where basically the horse is walking up the hill, and instead of walking up the hill the way a horse would in real life, it's just levitating with its forward hooves touching the hillside and the rear hooves about 2 feet off the ground, perfectly horizontal. And there, like I said, there's a few times where things didn't make a whole lot of sense. I think there might have been one rendering issue. There's one instance where I kind of hope it's a rendering issue because I don't know why my guards would be walking around in their boxer shorts. The castle battle horn comes with its own household staff, including guards. We're approaching the 12-minute mark. Anyone who hasn't played the game, I would encourage to play it. It's a good little game. Is Skyrim better? I think so. At the end of the campaign, it was like, okay, let me finish 1 or 2 quests, and then it's like, yeah, am I really going to spend 6 or 7 hours walking up and down streams collecting Nirn root for a potion I don't need anymore because I defeated the big bad? And when that realization struck, I actually decided to retire the game. It kept me busy the last few weeks, which is part I can say for some other games. And I really don't want to play the game just to grind. I think we've wrapped up Diablo 4, and while I'm inclined to, play a little bit more, there will arrive a point where it's like, okay, we're going somewhere to kill something, and that's it, type thing. For that one, for Diablo, we really need to download the DLC, that deals with Nirel's story. But I'm not aware of any DLC with Oblivion. So I saved a little bit of space on the Xbox, but deleting it. And we're at the 13-minute mark. Got a couple minutes left. Stretch. There's some very positive things. Like I said, the weapon and the armor system, the indication that there's some, that it's degrading is very much appreciated. Unlike Skyrim, where if you didn't pay attention, and I realized one point, it's like, why am I not killing stuff in Skyrim? And I checked the weapon, it's like, it's supposed to be, 17,000 points, and it was like 7,000 points. Like, what the hell happened here? So at least with Oblivion, it's like, oh, your weapon's at 65%. Oh, you need to repair it. I used very few potions, some healing stuff, very rarely sorcery, very rarely healing. All the rest of the stuff I put away. Once I got powerful enough, I started actually selling the weak version of stuff, make a few extra coins. But yeah. I like the idea that the city of Skingrad is ruled by a vampire. Yeah, and I bought the little shack at the Imperial City because, well, why not? And it really is a little shack. It's just a one-room thing. And I think I've reached a point where I'm starting to babble. And my neck is killing me because I'm hunched over the computer so you can hear me clearly. So with those words, I wish you all a very fond farewell. Thank you for joining me. There will be a few more Oblivion videos based on 4-minute videos spliced together. And that's it. Farewell.